Hello, welcome to another edition of Tech Talks with Jeremy Hyman and me, Rob Brown. Jeremy, you and I have these conversations every week and talk about technology and strategy in professional service firms and networks and associations. We were talking off camera about the concept of different brains, and
Yes.
It's quite interesting. Do you just want to tell us a little bit more about what that means?
Yeah, it's a funny phrase to use, isn't it? Different brains. It's like it's like an Asimov 60s sci-fi film. But
we are in interesting times, and this is an interesting phrase.
yeah, what I mean by it, what I meant when we were chatting about it, is that you don't have the same brain to do different things at different times in a firm, right? So firms go out and they hire an IT manager or an IT director or a CTO, and because they're quite expensive hires, they think they can do everything, right? I've paid all this money. You're the lady in charge of IT, therefore it's all your problem. And I think that's a bit unfair, really. I think there are at least three different kinds of IT brain, I guess. First of all, we've got our innovators. So these are people that come up with spectacular ideas, and we could just do it this way and completely turn it on. You know, what if we had no paper? What if we had no office? What if we only had mobile laptops and we bought them for everyone, even if they cost a lot of money, but that's what we're going to do. So really sparky, here's a completely different way of doing it, and turn the practice on its head. The second kind of brain, I think, is the delivery brain, right? It will never innovate, but give me a problem and I will get that delivered. Give me a set of parameters, give me a project, give me a goal, and I will steadfastly get us from the current state to the future state, and that's what I do. It's a different kind of brain than the innovator. And then I think our third brain is the operator. Yep. Doesn't want particularly to have change, but wants to see things running smoothly, keeping the lights on, business as usual, whatever you want to call it. Support desk is just running nicely, users are happy. And I think sometimes firms try to mix all of those three into one individual. Mm-hmm. And almost by definition, the innovator doesn't really always deliver and certainly doesn't operate. The operator isn't interested in innovation, and the delivery person likes a project, and that's where they live. And you kind of have to respect those different brains to get the most out of each of them.
That's a wonderful way of looking at it. And as you came up with those terms, I was thinking one is the inventor, the other is the doer, and the other is the pragmatist. And just like there's no one perfect accountant, you're looking at a hybrid of different skills, personalities, traits, characteristics, brain wirings to make the perfect CTO or specific individual, aren't you? And it's not possible.
That's right. And one of the challenges for firms actually is appointing people, because they don't really know enough about IT people, let alone these three different kinds of IT person. They really struggle to make those right appointments. And quite often, you know, the engagements that we have is working alongside a CTO or an IT director or a managing partner to compensate for the bits of brain that the person that they have in store on hire isn't, right? So they might have a great innovator as their CTO. They need someone who's going to help with delivery or with ops. They might have a great operator, but they need someone with a bit of flair for innovation. And quite often our job is to provide that compensating element.
And without knowing that there are three different brains inside a technology expert, you could get some very unhappy people or some people in the wrong functions doing the wrong jobs.
Yeah, and in fact, they are highly competent. That's the problem. So you can't point them and say, well, they're no good at their job. They're very good at their job. It's just that you're not asking them to do their job. So, and because the people in charge of the practice don't understand those subtleties, a lot of frustration can ensue.
Yeah, and we were mentioning about capacity being the problem, not ability. Just talk a little bit more about that, Jeremy.
I think quite often we have actually got a really good blend of people, and they are experienced, and they do understand the firm, but we just overload them. We just give them so much to do on the expectation they can do everything by next Wednesday, that they just become completely paralyzed and they can't get delivery completed. Again, because the people who are tasking the IT department don't really understand enough about how they operate, they can't judge how long it's going to take them to do something, and therefore capacity issues arise. And quite often it's a really simple problem. It's just one of capacity. So either we're going to have to do a bit less or hire some more people. That's the only way we're going to get our work delivered.
Yeah, and in closing, the downside is, I guess, that we expect our people to be masters of everything or jack of all trades and dilute their key skills because they're trying to make up for shortfalls in this particular area, and they're not working their brilliance.
Yeah, absolutely right. And it's a shame to do that, because even the most talented IT person will not be able to shine in those environments. And a lot of what we do with the professional service firms that we work with is bridge that gap between the lawyer or accountant who understands their profession very well and the equally talented but sometimes misunderstood IT leads, and we just provide the bridge between those two to make them work better together.
Well, you need to, because they're so close to it. They don't often see it, Jeremy, do they, for themselves?
Yes, we have the gift of objectivity and distance, and we can absolutely help them see that.
Well, that's been amazing. I've learned plenty about different brains today. Jeremy, Hyman, thank you so much for your time and your insights.
Thanks, Rob.